Okay, video number 4. What's up? This is great. We're really rolling now. I hope you guys are really getting a lot out of this, and it's not too much. If it is, just watch through all the videos to the end, and then start back over again, because some of the later stuff is going to apply earlier and this and that. It's kind of hard to really do it all in a way where it's all going to be one shot. It's kind of a 2-shot deal, I think, this course in general. So 2 shots is the charm for minimum. Maybe 3 for some people minimum, okay? So let's go on to the next part. We're going to go on to the all caps name. So what is the all caps name in relation to United States, which means a federal corporation, which means a private for-profit corporation, which means the District of Columbia? What is the all caps name in relation to that thing, and what is a U.S. citizen in relation to that thing? Well, it's called a franchise. So let's slam right into it. We have the word franchise here. Now, you on the upper right here it is, franchise. This is from Black's Law, 4th edition. So franchise basically means a special privilege conferred by government on individual or corporation, and which does not belong to citizens or country generally of common right. So again, you are saying you're a U.S. citizen. You're saying that you live in Washington, D.C., you work for them, you're underneath their rules, their laws, you don't have the Bill of Rights, you don't have the Constitution, you don't have jack shit. You don't even have your state constitution. So the state of California has a constitution. Not even that applies to you when you say you're a U.S. citizen. Fucking nothing. Like, the United States Code applies to you. Basically, you're basically a public servant in the eyes of the law. You're basically a government employee, public servant. Oh, by the way, employment, if you study employment in the code, in the U.S. Code, employment does not require payment to be considered employed. So even without getting paid, you are considered an employee of the federal government when you put U.S. citizen on everything. So, yeah. So let's get back into franchise. So franchise, you're basically like, this is why you have to get a marriage license. Think about it. You have to get a license to get married. So actually, let me see here. This is page 862. We're going to go to the word license really quick. I think we're going to be getting into that later in the course more, but this is important because this goes right into franchise. So we're going to get into license, a license to live. Ooh, I got a license to die. Yeah. Ooh, I just want that license. Give me a license. I just want a license to live. Give me a license. Yeah. Give me a license to live. All right. License. What does it mean? Doesn't mean what you think it does. What does it mean? You are not going to be happy about this one. Certificate or the document itself which gives permission. Let's see here. There's one particular definition that you will love. Here it is. Bada bing, bada boom. This one's going to piss you off. Boy. Right here. I'll highlight all the good stuff here for you. Permission to do something which, without the license, would not be allowable. So think about that in relation to a marriage license. You are such a fucking slave that they don't let you get married. You have to ask permissions from your slave owners to get married. That's what a marriage license literally physically is by definition. Here it is. You can see it. There's the word license in the dictionary. You can see up top, Black's Law, 4th edition. Let's go full screen. Oh, that actually fucked it up. I laugh because it's just so fucking ridiculous. Here, license, scroll down. Permission to do something, which without the license would not be allowable. And people like think that's like normal. Like, oh yeah, you need like a concealed carry permit or a license to like, or a fishing license. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Only slaves need licenses, okay? And the only way you can be a slave is through you telling them that you're a slave. They can't make you a slave. No one can make you a slave. That's the part that's so like, you're going to get pissed off in this course and you might be like already fucking furious. But it's like, dude, really, at the end of the day, you signed documentation for your driver's license stating that you were a U.S. citizen. You didn't even realize it. You didn't even think. It said, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes or no? You selected yes. Your passport. Are your parents U.S. citizens? Are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, 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 yes. You selected yes. The marriage license, concealed carry permit, fishing permit. Dude, I could go on and on and on and on and on. There was something else that I saw the other day where they asked me about a U.S. citizen, and I laughed. I forget what it was, but they're asking you this question all the time, and you're saying yeah, and you're not saying with a gun to your head. You're not saying it while you're drunk. You're not saying now. Is it a legal contract? No, technically it's not, which we'll get into later. But it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that when you say yes, yes, yes 9,000 times to something, in the law, that's what you are. Even if your body's located in California, it doesn't fucking matter. In the law, you are a U.S. citizen. You are a fucking slave. Slaves only have the rules and rights that the slave owners are willing to give you. The board of directors of the private for-profit corporation known as District of Columbia, known as United States, gives you whatever laws, whatever rights they want to give you, and they'll fucking take them away tomorrow. That's what a license is. Permission to do something which without the license would not be allowable. The livestock are not allowed to marry unless we give them a license. Hope you enjoyed that. Going back to franchise, page 862. This is going to be so much better than trying to hunt this thing down. 862. Boom. All right. Zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. There we go. Back to franchise. Franchise. A special privilege. You pathetic fuck. We are going to give you... We're going to give you a license to get married. We're just that kind. We're going to marry the state into your marriage and fuck you up the ass royally all the time. But we'll allow you because you're a buddy. Franchise, a special privilege conferred by government on individual or corporation and which does not belong to citizens of country generally of common right. So you don't have the Bill of Rights. You don't have the Constitution. You don't have the Constitution of your state. You don't have fucking anything. All you have the same rights as the public servants do. And the public servants are underneath like a terrific amount of pressure. They flipped the whole trust on us, basically. So like the police by definition are policing the US code and stuff like that. So technically speaking, they're policing that of which applies to our public servants. But our public servants, quote unquote, have flipped all that on us, and now they do it to us. Technically, law enforcement, police, they're enforcing laws that are really only supposed to be enforced for our public servants, people who actually are U.S. citizens. So if a person lives in Washington, D.C. and they work for the federal government, they are by definition a U.S. citizen. So those people are the ones who the police are supposed to be policing. But since everybody's fucking filed as a fucking U.S. citizen, basically in law, legally, the whole fucking country is basically Washington, D.C. Or more importantly, there's like maybe a couple 100,000 or a couple million of us state nationals that actually live on the land on our states. And then everybody else in the whole country, I don't know if it was like 330 million or something like that people or whatever it is in the country. So 332 million people live in Washington, D.C. And then there's just like a million of us scattered around the different states. And like legally, that's actually what the situation is currently. You're all franchises, so you are handed. You have to beg for your rights. You have to pay to get your FFL, your your permits, your special permits to get certain types of firearms. You have to pay to get a marriage license. You have to pay taxes. For example, look at this. Scroll down on franchise, and we have the term franchise tax. A tax on the franchise of a corporation, that is, on the right and privilege of carrying on business in the character of a corporation for the purposes of which it was created and the conditions which surround it. All the taxes that you pay are essentially franchise tax. So you're in the system. You don't realize that you're in the system. You are a franchise. You're paying franchise tax. You're constantly backing up and beefing up the contract by saying that you're a U.S. citizen, by responding to your all caps name, by paying bills, paying taxes in a certain way. I'm not telling you not to pay taxes. We're going to get into that later. But the way in which you pay taxes, you're signing W-9 forms where if you look at, we're going to get into this a little bit here. Let's W-9 tax form. We're going to get into this more later, but let's just quickly tap this. So if you go into the W-9 and you go down to section 3, we're going to zoom in on this. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Under penalties of perjury, I certify that. Number 3 says, I am a U.S. citizen or other U.S. person, which is defined below. Okay, let's scroll on down. They put the shit right there. Like, okay, yeah, it's a fucked up definition, and yeah, it like fucks people up and like tricks them. But dude, it's like, it's right there. Like the way that the government and the IRS operates is they operate on what's called plausible deniability. Like, well, we put the definition right there. I mean, technically, you can get pissed off, but like technically, that's kind of true. Like, they really kind of do sort of have plausible deniability, even though they are tricking people big time with some of these words. So definition of a U.S. person. For federal tax purposes, you are considered a U.S. person if you are an individual who is a U.S. citizen or U.S. resident alien. Now, we're going to get into what that means. That's another one. So let's just go through it right now. I'll show you more information on it later. A U.S. resident alien is somebody who lives in United States, which means District of Columbia, but they don't necessarily work for the federal government. So U.S. citizen, they live in and they work for. A U.S. resident alien lives in but doesn't necessarily work for the federal government. That's the two terms, okay? A partnership, corporation, company, or association created or organized in the United States or under the laws of the United States. Again, District of Columbia. An estate other than a foreign estate or a domestic trust. Domestic meaning inside United States, which means District of Columbia. So that's what U.S. person actually means on the W-9. So you're signing this form under penalty of perjury that you are this thing. So basically, you're committing perjury when you sign this form. And there's a whole shitload of different forms, and we're going to get into all the different forms. There's so many forms you've never even heard of, forms that a lot of accountants have never even seen because they're fucking idiots. I'm sorry if you're an accountant. That's very mean. You're not an idiot. You're just you've really had the blanket pulled over your head and you've been beaten to death, and it just sucks. When you learning all this is going to really fucking suck because you're going to realize that you went to school for a long time to be brainwashed, but at the same time, now that you're learning this and what I'm going to show you, you can make more money as an accountant than like literally anyone in the entire country is making times 10. So let's say right now you're an accountant. Hats off to you, bro, for fucking doing this course. This is fucked because I'm just some fucking retard in California, one stupid fuck. And if you really going through this thing and you're really like digging this information, then dude, hats the fuck off to you. That's amazing. But yeah, if you're an accountant and you're learning this information, dude, prepare to charge 10 times. So if you're normally making like, let's say you have a small practice and you're making like, 150,000 a year, get ready to bump that up to like a mil and a half, because when you learn all this stuff and you start doing this, bro, you're gonna be the most beloved, most sexy, most wanted accountant in the whole country, because there's not hardly anybody doing what I'm going to be going over in this course. I'm going to be doing it for people. I'm going to charge a whole lot more than fucking million and a half dollars a year for people to do it. But basically, yeah, you can take your career and your business as an accountant or as a lawyer into levels that are just literally uncomprehensibly high fees and just almost no marketing required to fill your practice to the point where you are completely breaking at the seams. So there you go. If you've got the fucking balls, go for it. I don't expect a lot of that to happen. So if you are an accountant or a lawyer and you're watching these videos and you're going to switch over, hit me up. That's dope. So we've gone over the All Caps name as a franchise. We've gone over the W-9 form a little bit here. The next thing we're going to go over is the definition of the word person. So you're going to see here, even on this W-9 form, U.S. person. Okay, so this word person, this is the most fucked up word. So besides the word United States, or term United States, which means District of Columbia, which is totally fucked everything up, the second most fucked up term, or actually probably the number one most fucked up term really, is the word person. So you think to yourself, oh, person means like a human being, like a person, right? Like a doesn't mean that at all. So you're going to realize here real fast, in law, nothing really means what you think it means, which is why the world's so fucked up, and which is why your life is so fucked up. And it's why you pay 70% of all your money to taxes, and you work for the federal government for free as a withholding agent if you own a business by withholding people's income. They don't pay you for that. Nobody ever stops to think like, damn, I'm like withholding all this money for the federal government through payroll, but I work for free. Like, do you know what working for free means? Do you know the word used to describe working for free? It's called slave. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now, hey, if someone's like, dude, the fucking IRS pays me $90,000 a year to fucking withhold payroll taxes. Okay, I mean that's a little bit more understandable. That's not slavery, at least. But when you're a withholding agent, you work for free, and you withhold people's income through your payroll. You're a slave. You're literally a slave by definition. Wow, I can't find the word person here. This is amazing. Person. Peonage. Let's see here. That's kind of funny. Sometimes I just get lost in this thing, man. I'm just like cruising through here, looking for a word, and then I'm like, ooh, it's like shiny diamonds everywhere. Ooh, here's a nice one. And then I'm like, wait, where was I? And then it's like, oh, fuck, I don't know where I was. So if that happens to you, it happens to the best of us, because that means you're fucking woke, man. That means you're awake, because you're like, whoa, like you see something and then you're like in it. You know what I mean? You're like locked in and you're fucking ready to learn. Okay. Person. Term may include artificial beings as corporations. Quasi-corporations. Territorial corporations. Foreign corporations. Usurious contracts. Oh my God. Corporation is also a person. under a penal statute. Corporations are persons, as that word is used in the first clause of the 14th Amendment. The word person means fucking like everything. Persons are of two kinds, natural and artificial. A natural person is a human being. Artificial persons include a collection or succession of natural persons forming a corporation. A country is a person in a legal sense. I mean, it says here a country is a person in a legal sense, but a sovereign is not. Sovereign meaning somebody who's completely disconnected from all this junk and stands alone in common law. So when you sign with the word person in anything, you're basically saying that you're a corporation, trust, natural person. You're like whatever. Like basically, you're kind of saying like, yo, like whatever you want to make me for whatever reason that like benefits you and fucks me in the ass, go for it. That's what you're saying when you say person everywhere in a document or something like that. That's basically what you're signing when you sign something like that. So just keep in mind that, you know, you can write the definition of the word person on a document. You know, documents and forms, they can always be changed and adjusted. It doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily accept the form. But, you know, when you see the word person, you may want to write like at the top, like natural person, or you may want to like, when you sign it, you may want to say like natural person. I'm going to teach you how to sign shit later. But like, you know, these are words that mean so many different things that if you want to be more careful and you want to have your rights and you want to control things better, you can be like, no, like, and you can kind of rope them in and be like, no, dude, like I'm not all these fucking things. I'm not like all the shit that you can make me whatever you want, whenever you want to fucking jam your 9-inch dick up my ass. Like, no. That's not how this is going to work. Like, I'm going to be just this one thing and that's it. I'm going to lock it in and like, fuck you. You're not fucking me in the ass. Like, I don't want to get fucked in the ass. I'm not in prison. I'm not a slave. So when you say natural person, generally speaking, that's what they're referring to. But you can say like the living man, because a man and a woman has rights. A person does not necessarily. When you say man or woman, it's like boom, right? When you say man or woman that lives on the land of the Republic of California and has the full human rights and abilities of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution after you change your status and everything, which I'm going to teach you in the course. When you say it that way, it's like there's no way they can kind of fucking get in there and change you up in order to fuck you in the ass. So basically they just have a hard dick and they're literally just trying to figure out how they can bend you over and fuck you in the ass like all the time. And if you think of it that way, without getting angry, boom, that's the key. Always think of it that way and be on the defensive and be clarifying your words and definitions while at the same time not getting angry. And boom, you are like fucking golden. You're going to be completely outside of literally every body of statute on the planet. And you're just going to be completely free and to do literally whatever you want. So yeah, and then there's one last thing I wanted to share with you on this point involving franchises. There's literally a case law point that I wanted to share with you. I'm going to share a bunch of other case law with you later. So case law, real quick. Case law just means they use it as a precedent. So you've probably heard the word precedent. This is well known that like law is based on precedents, which is like the previous thing that there is some truth to that, but that's like super low level shit. That's like super low level. That's like many steps down from what we're learning in this course and what we're teaching. So there is such a thing as precedent, but really all case law is by definition is the opinion of a judge or an opinion of a body of people who have heard this. So I'm not trying to show you this to have it be some kind of like word of God kind of thing, because like technically it's really not. But case law is really interesting because you have a judge who sat there and listened to all this shit for God knows how long, and then he's at the end, he's like, "Yo, this is the deal from what I can tell of what's going on here." And there's a lot of judges that have been honest, good people, and they've been like, "Yo, this is kind of what's up, right?" So we have here under this one right here, Wheeling Steel Corp versus Fox. It says here, therefore, the U.S. citizens residing in one of the states of the Union are classified as property and franchises of the federal government as an individual entity. So what they're trying to say in this court case is that you are literally owned property of the District of Columbia when you're a U.S. citizen, and when you say you're a U.S. citizen, when you sign that shit over and over and over and over that you are, and you sign a W-9 form, and you sign a fucking driver's license, and you sign a fucking passport, and you sign a fucking concealed carry permit, and you sign a fishing license, and you sign a marriage license, and it's like okay, even if it was like I made one accident and I checked one box on one form saying that I was a U.S. citizen, that's not what's happening here. There's like a whole shitload of forms and signatures all over the place of you under no pressure or stress or duress saying like, oh yeah, U.S. citizen. A lot of people are like proud of it. They're like, I'm a U.S. citizen. Like where I'm from in Indiana, U.S. citizen. Yeah, America. And it's like, bro, you don't have a fucking clue. You're literally saying, like, you don't know that you're saying this, obviously, otherwise you'd be fucking pissed. But you're saying, like, yeah, I'm a fucking slave. I am a bitch. I am literally a bitch. I'm like the fucking, like an S&M and shit. Like, I'm literally in, like, a fucking gimp suit, and I'm on all fours, and I'm meowing, and I have, like, a fucking collar on, and I'm, like, just this fucking, like, sex doll for the District of Columbia. That's what you're saying, literally. And they give me these little rights, and like I'll pay them to get like maybe just a little bit more of my rights, and it's like, it's so great. America's so great. And it's like, no, dude. It's so fucking pathetic. I mean, nobody knows any of this information, so like I get it. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of people on here because it's like, it's literally like impossible that anybody would have ever figured this out. So I'm not trying to be like a dick or something like that, but just like, when you step back and you swallow this fucking gigantic horse pill of what's really going on and what you're really signing on these documents, you go, and it's like, now this is the first part in this course where you're starting to see that you're tied into all of these. Now this one is you're tied into, let me make sure I'm on the video correctly here. On this one, you're tied into you're tied into one particular contract, right? So let's draw this out so I can really show you what I'm talking about here. So here is here's United States, quote unquote, right? And this actually means District of Columbia. And there's statutes. Fuck tons of statutes. The U.S. Code, the CFR, the fucking, I forget what that even means. Something federal regulations. CFR. There's a bunch. There's the Internal Revenue Code, which we're going to get into later. There's all these codes, statutes. All that shit is all right here, okay? And then here's you as a natural person, or natural being, or natural man, natural woman. This is, little side note, by the way. This is why you're seeing all this gender dysphoria bullshit in the media. They're pushing like this whole birthing person. You can't define a man. You can't define a woman. This is all part of, and you could say, this is a conspiracy theory. No, I don't think it is, because only men and women have rights. And if you fuck up and muddy the definitions, and you fuck up and muddy, and people don't, like, they get confused and they don't realize, like, am I a man? Am I a woman? It's like, if you're not a man and you're not a woman and you can't define what those things are, you just lost all your rights, bro. you're a slave. Like, that's the end of the fucking story, because the law only gives rights to men and women. That's it. So for all the people that have fallen into this whole fucking rabbit hole, monstrous pothole of men and women, and there's no definitions and there's no gender and all this, bro, that shit is literally all fucking designed to have you stand up. I mean, people are standing up and saying, like, I'm not a woman, I'm a birthing person, you're not a man. Like, they're literally saying in that same breath, I have no rights. I have no rights. I don't want my rights. Legally, in the legal world, that's literally what they're saying. So they don't realize they're saying that, but that's what they're saying, and that's the design of the whole thing. So keep in mind, this is the matrix. This is the matrix that you're going to be pulling out of with this course. And is that technically a fucking theory? I mean, I guess, do I have like hardcore evidence that points to the fact that that's what's going on? No, but dude, it makes perfect sense to me. If you want a populace to not understand or not want their own rights or sign away their own rights, that's the best way to do it, man. Like, oh, men and women don't exist anymore because only men and women have rights. Maybe I'm wrong. Call it a theory. I don't know. Seems true to me. Anyways, so here's you as a man or woman. Okay? Now, you have the driver's license. Now, what contracts you into U.S. citizen? U.S. citizen. What contracts you into this? Quote, unquote, right? We have the driver's license. We have marriage license. We have passport. Depending on what you put on your passport, because if you came from another country and it says U.S. citizen and you're like, no, I've never been a U.S. citizen, and you say, no, my parents were never U.S. citizens because you came from Germany or something like that, actually your passport's fine. There's ways to get more upgraded passports and stuff like that, but people who, they don't even realize it, but people who do that, people who come from other countries and they put no on U.S. citizen, they actually get a more powerful passport that they don't even realize that they have, which we'll get into when we get into the passport section. So we got the driver's license. That ties you into the contract. We've got the marriage license. That ties you into the contract. We've got the passport. That ties you into the contract. We've got taxes. If you're signing W-9 forms and stuff like that. We have got that one ties you into the contract. And there's actually a way you can pay. I'll teach you a way you can actually pay taxes using a particular form where you can pay taxes in a way that doesn't actually tie you into the contract. For those of you that are really, really scared about taxation and paying your taxes and stuff like that, and you still want to pay the taxes, but you want to make sure you're not contracting into the United States as a U.S. citizen, I can teach you that as well, just in case you need like a two-step process and you just don't feel comfortable, you're kind of scared to do the one jump. I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. So you have taxes, you have the driver's license, you have the marriage license, you have passport, and then you have like stupid shit too. Like even like a fishing license or a hunting license. Anything with the word license in it, pretty much. If the Constitution or the Bill of Rights gives you the right to do something, yet you are still requesting a license to do it, you're basically saying, like the way the legal world thinks of something like that is you're saying like this dude doesn't want his rights. He doesn't believe in his rights. He doesn't know his rights. And he's asking for permission to do something that he already has the right to do it. Thus, he either doesn't want his rights, doesn't understand his rights, or doesn't really want to have anything to do with his rights. So it basically assumes that you are a U.S. citizen and that you're tied into these contracts and on the statutes. They're basically saying like this dude is acting as though he's a U.S. citizen because he's asking for rights that he already has. So he must be a U.S. citizen. He signed the papers. So what you're going to do in this course and what we're going to be teaching you, what I'm going to be teaching, I keep saying we, you're going to go through and kill all these fucking things, man. Kill this one. You're gonna kill this one by changing your passport. You're gonna kill this one by changing your driver's license. You're gonna kill this one, taxes. You're gonna kill fishing, hunting. You're gonna kill all these contracts, and then at the end of the day, and there's other things that you're tied into as well. This right here, what I'm showing you, because this is the whole point of the course, is to kill contracts. This is the main contract that allows police to give you traffic tickets. It takes away your right to bear arms. Taxation, sales tax, state tax, city tax, all the laws. If a cop can write a drunk and disorderly ticket on you, or a DUI, or speeding, or blowing a stop sign, or, I mean, literally every single fucking thing that any cop can pretty much write a ticket for in any way, shape, or form, as long as you aren't hurting anybody. That's common law. That's different. It's called victimless crime. So what happens is that you, in the end, you wind up in common law. And we're going to get into this more later, but basically now the only way that you can get in trouble with the law at all is there must be a victim. And this is another caveat, very interesting. The state cannot be the victim. Now, why is that? Because the state is a public servant. The state is the trustee. You're the beneficiary. So the trust law is always senior. So the state cannot be the victim. So there has to be another victim, and it can't be the state. And that is once you separate out, and once you slice out. Oh, I have the light on my thing here. Once you slice out all of these contracts, so taxes, driver's license, marriage license, passport, fishing, hunting license. There might be other things too. Each person's different, but this is like your basic stuff that most people have. Once you handle all of these and change them and adjust them and change your status, which we're going to talk about that too. So that's actually another one. We'll do citizenship, because there's really no other way to describe it. That's how they describe it. So you kind of have to use some of their terminology sometimes. Citizenship. Notice it says ship. It's kind of interesting, right? Because we go over vessel earlier. Citizenship status. And the codes tell you exactly how to change your status. And there's lots of different types of statuses that you can choose from. And there's one in particular called a state citizen. And that's the one that we're going to be doing, because that's the one that gives you back all of your rights in law. So once you correct that, that kills off the contract as well. So this beast, and it's got these tentacles, and you're going to cut off each individual tentacle, and that's the only way you can defeat the contract. You cannot defeat the contract by slicing just one of these. So you have to slice them all. It's like a Medusa head, a bunch of different heads, and you have to slice all of the heads. You have to locate all the heads and slice them all, and then once you slice them all, you are free. And that is the definition of freedom. So that's it. This is supposed to be a short video, but I guess it's never going to happen. Anyways, that's video number 4, and this is kind of, I think, the first breaking point where you're probably just now starting to see kind of where we're headed with this course. All this information is all extremely important. I'm cutting all of the fat out of the course. So realize there's a lot of material here, and there's a lot more to come, and it's all necessary to understand for you to achieve this and to slice all these contracts and become truly free. So yeah, that's it for video number 4. I hope you got a lot out of this. It's fucking badass. This course is really rolling along nicely. And I'll see you at video number 5. Bye-bye.